All right, there we go. It says we're recording. Excellent. So welcome and thank you all for coming to our University of Scouting Instructors Informational session. I'm not calling this a meeting, I'm calling it an informational session because I hope that you can all walk away from this more informed than you came into it. That's my entire goal here. And let me take a moment to introduce who's in the room along with a few other folks. Myself, I am Mike Volz. I'm your chancellor this year for University of Scouting. I'm just a humble volunteer. And the person you really need to know about is Jennifer Mooney. She's down at the end of the table keeping her virus germs to herself. She's going to get well real soon, we promise. I also have a couple other folks. Very importantly, Todd McDonald. Thank you for putting this together for us, Todd. The technology here, really appreciate it. And I'm going to go ahead and transition over here to some don't you know this already kind of stuff. And before I even get into that, I want to say thank you for each of you for volunteering to teach at this event. Your time and your energy is going to make for an excellent event and build an more awesome program than what we have here today going forward. So this is really great. I really appreciate it. Our entire planning team really appreciates that you guys are putting time and effort into this. And to give you a real quick context, I did this last year at the end of our event. I'll do it right here for you guys. We have exactly 27 unique classes taught by no fewer than 80 different instructors as of right now today. So you are a big part of the success of that thing. Okay, so let's transition to the don't you know stuff here. I hope you know this. Big event is Saturday, November 2nd. That's right, we have exactly 1 month from today. This is not a coincidence we're having this meeting on October 2nd. We're a month away and it's still a lot to do for a lot of us. And of course, we're the same location as we were last year, Mount Hood Community College. If you need an address, it's right there on the screen for you. Oh, I'm not sharing my screen. My apologies, guys. You didn't help me remember to share my screen. Probably have a few hands up. Okay, show screen, screen number 1. Hopefully you can see that. All right. And the audience view says waiting for next screen. That's weird. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask everybody to, if you can, please lodge your questions with the question tool. There's a little question mark at the top of, at least on the app on mobile, Mr. McDonald tells me. And I'm guessing if you're on desktop, you probably have a tool to ask a question. And Ben is here saying howdy. Thanks, Ben. I'm going to keep those clear as much as I can so I can come back towards the end and address those questions. Okay, excellent. You see my slides. And I will have a Q&A session towards the end. I'm going to try to keep this as brief as possible. So let's dig into this. Saturday, November 2nd, 1 month from today, Mount Hood Community College. There's your address. Check-in starts at 7:30 a.m. sharp. We're going to have volunteers on the ground at 7:15 to get everything sorted. Officially, we open up at 7:30. Opening ceremonies are 8:30. Classes start at 9. Every class is exactly 1 hour long. There are 6 classes in the day, and that means we end with closing ceremonies starting at exactly 4 p.m. Same exact schedule as last year. It works well. We're going to stick with it. So hopefully there are no questions on that because that is the bone dead simple stuff. Today's agenda, we're going to go over some details above and beyond what we just covered. I'm going to tell you a lot about setup in classrooms and the equipment that we have come in every year. You guys always bring different people to bring different sets of things. From Mr. Alexi, who has a whole bunch of tie slides, and our Dutch oven folks. We're going to talk about the loading zone for almost all of you because we had some issues last year. We'll cover that. And we'll talk about the thing that a lot of you are probably concerned about is to make sure you know what the budget situation is, who you hand your receipts to and all that kind of stuff, and when they need to be submitted by. We'll talk about materials for the CD and for the Google Drive, and if you need printed materials, and then attendance sheets is a new thing we're starting also, and we'll cover that towards the end, and Adam is waving hello. So let's go to the minor details really quick. Please, you have all, I believe, been asked to register as staff. I'm going to put that request out one more time. Please do register as staff. You get a discount, and with that, very modest sum. We're asking you get lunch, you get a packet, you get a patch, you get a lanyard, you get a name tag. If you don't register, you don't get those things. And that's all I'm going to say about that. I was in the position a couple years ago where I kind of felt like, why do I have to register? I'm teaching 5 classes, I'm not taking anything. I kind of see it differently today. I understand why they ask us to register. And also, along with that, please do not sign up for the classes that you're teaching. All that does is take one seat away from a potential participant. So leave that one blank, or if you're teaching multiple classes, please leave those sessions blank. And if you're getting a lunch, you can either select a delicious garden salad, an Italian grinder, or a roast turkey club, or you can select, I'll bring my own lunch, thank you very much. Unfortunately, there's not a price break on that one. We just won't have a sandwich or a salad for you. So that is the minor details. Hopefully that all makes sense. It should be relatively clear. Setup in classrooms. I have some pictures here for you in just a moment. And I am just a little bit ahead of the audience view. Am I ahead of the queue? I think I am.
Yeah, I pulled us and tried to pull away from.
You're not paying attention anymore. Oh, you're on the bandwidth. Okay. So hopefully this screen will come up really quickly. We're going to talk about the setup in the classrooms really quick. As with last year, we do not have access to classrooms on Friday, November 1st. In previous locations, we have had access to classrooms on that date. This location is different, and that's okay. A ton of equipment and gear, and that's okay. That's up to you. All of the setup that we have for classrooms needs to be done either Saturday morning, especially if you're teaching session 1, it needs to be done Saturday morning or right before your class starts. For most of you folks, if you're like Mr. Mudd teaching hammock camping, or Mr. Alexi with a whole bunch of tie slides, I tried to put you in session 1 so that you can set up early and have all that ready to go. And I also tried to leave space and time for you to take down. I've talked to most of those folks that have those. All of the indoor classrooms have a built-in computer station. And all those computers are sitting literally within or on top of a command station. We'll talk about this in a second. It's really easy. And there's no need to bring a projector for the most part if you're inside. There's no need to bring a screen. The easiest way to get your slides, if you're going to do a slideshow of some kind, is to bring it on a flash drive or a thumb drive or a USB stick, whatever you want to call it. Bring that with your slides and have that ready to go. And we'll show you about that in just a second. All of the computers have Office Suite installed. The default software is PowerPoint. If you use Google Sheets, right, I don't know what to do other than tell you good luck or convert it to PowerPoint, and I know that that'll work. It may be that you can log into Google with the browser on site and get to your stuff. It might work, it might not, and I'd hate to have you not have your slides. So make sure you consider that as you go. FYI, all these computers, and I'll show you some pictures in just a second, they never go to sleep, they never shut off, they never lock. They do have a screensaver. All you gotta do is walk up to the machine, wiggle the mouse, press the space bar, press the shift key, and it will wake right up and be ready to go. Okay, so here's what a classroom looks like. You should have on your screen here coming up very shortly. This is Liam Davis for scale. This is a classroom, I believe it's 1582. Whoever has that classroom, this is your exact classroom. It seats 36 participants, and you'll see not every classroom looks exactly like this, but many of them do. And this is a good basic example of what to expect. Chairs, tables, that sort of thing. So I'm going to turn this around here, and hopefully you'll get this next picture. This is facing the other direction. Again, 36 people, chairs, tables, no big deal. What I'm going to do next, I'm going to take 2 steps backwards. And what you're going to see on the bottom right is a computer monitor. What's in the bottom middle there, that funny arm thing, is some sort of a weird sheet display that I don't think anybody's ever used. If you're a teacher, you probably know about that. It's not my ballywhack. If it works, great. If you want to use it, go ahead. For me, the meat and potatoes is that computer screen on your bottom right. And what that is sitting right on top of is this. This is what I call the command station. If you were not there last year, if you weren't teaching, this is probably new to you. If you taught last year, you're probably like, oh yeah, that thing. The key to this is two things. I'm going to bring up a highlighter really quick because this is a great picture. It's not turned on right now, but what the key to this whole thing is this bit right here. It's a touch screen, and these two things right there. I hope that you can see that. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my next screen here because it's a zoom in and I've turned it on. So what you can see on the left side of the screen towards the bottom side of the left menu is a button that says PC. That's the built-in PC. I'm going to highlight it real quick here. And that is probably what most of you will want to use to do presentations. If you want to bring your own laptop, you can do that. Lifeguard not on duty, but if you do use the built-in, this is your button that says go to that built-in PC. There's a bunch of other stuff in here. This one actually up at the top says VCR. I would not use that unless you have a VCR. These EXT, DVD, there's all kinds of stuff in there. And it's all touchscreen. And before I forget, one of the things I want to mention to you, we had a couple of teachers last year that wanted to screen videos, and they had a really hard time finding the volume button because the volume button is right here. There's soft keys. And this is volume up right there. This is volume down. And I believe this part over here is showing you a volume indicator. If you're going to screen videos, please be aware of that, okay? Now, if you're going to walk in the room, you've got a computer ready to go, you want to plug in your USB flash drive, these are the keys right over here. They're labeled USB 1, USB 2. What happens is you plug in your USB drive, and as I recall, pardon that, excuse me, and I'm going to go back to this screen. It's going to show up, mount that USB drive and show up right here on your screen and say, hey, you plugged something in, dude, what do you want to do about it? And your stuff will be right there ready to go. It works really well. It's snazzy, and it's just easy. And I think if you bring your own laptop, please be aware what you'll see here right on the right side, sort of to the left side of this breakout box, is three things. I believe this is labeled Cat 5. I believe that's internet. I assume there's a DHCP server offering you an IP address. I don't know for sure. Lifeguard not on duty. You do you, all right? Below that, you'll notice this is a VGA connector. VGA connector. I'll say that one more time. It's VGA. Now, I had tell from a couple of our instructors last year that a few rooms had an HDMI port. The other thing I want to mention to you is that I'm going to go back slides here. If you look at, that's not what I wanted. If you look at this picture right here, there are no cables in the room. We didn't see any cables in any of the rooms that we went in. So if you want to use your own laptop, I warn you, bring your own cable. And then also there's laptop audio, which I believe is the 3/8 inch TRS. So if you want to bring your own laptop, you're on your own, folks. That's what you can expect. Maybe HDMI, most likely VGA. And I hope that assuages a few fears or concerns if you are not familiar with Mount Hood Community College. It's a really great system. Let me know if you have questions about that, but it just works well to walk into a classroom, plug in your flash drive, and go. So I'm going to move on to my next topic here, the loading zone. And one of the things we had big feedback from our airmen that served as our service corps, helping folks move in their equipment last year. A lot of folks drove over, a lot of our instructors drove over to the CYL loading area and expected a bunch of folks to come and carry their heavy things, which is way on the other side of campus from essentially where most of us are teaching. So our airmen were running laps doing half marathons last time, and we're going to try to fix that. We're going to have a expressly designated loading zone where all of our service corps will cheerfully meet you and help you with your stuff, I promise you. And what I want to make you very clear about this is we want, if you have stuff to load and you want help, I want you to enter at a very particular entrance and go to a very particular location. That entrance is on the intersection of Northwest Kane Drive and 29th, and it's labeled Entrance E. So we're going to go on a little tour here. I hope you can come with me. I'm going to watch the audience view to make sure that you get this. I'm going to start with a map. And I'm going to erase all the stuff. Oh, that's weird. And hopefully the map will catch up to you. What we've got here on the map is it taking a little time there? I think my bandwidth just suffered a bit. Sorry, guys. I'll be very patient here. what we have, there we go. I think you should see the map now. What we've got is Stark Street here going east-west. We all know and love Stark Street. And then over here we've got, I said, Kane Drive going north-south, like that. What you're aiming for, this is our target, Mount Hood Community College. And the entrance we're aiming for is right here. I'm gonna go ahead and clear that. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make us in a drone right here above the Regal Cinemas. So hold on to your hats. We're gonna go in a drone. It's actually Google Street View or whatever. I'm gonna wait for that to catch up. And what you can see here is a view of Mount Hood Community College as soon as it catches up to you. I'm gonna wait for the thing. There it goes. I can see that you can see it. Down here we have Kane Drive. Down here is going southbound, I believe. There's a left turn here at this intersection of 29th, I believe I said, or 27th, I forget, sorry. And what you're gonna do is you're gonna drive in this way, less than a city block, I swear to you. You're gonna make an immediate right after turning in on entrance E, go down to this really cool looking D-shaped thing down here. And that's where we're gonna have you have a loading zone, if you can see that. And I'd like to ask that everybody please pull and park to the outside of that loading zone as best you can. And keep the inside clear so people can pull out and clear out of there and let other folks come in and park. So let's go down to that intersection. Here's an image of the intersection I'm talking about. 27th Street. Hopefully that'll catch up with you folks online. My bandwidth is suffering. I apologize. Here it is. Okay, so 29th Street. Look, we caught it in an orange light. How about that? Yay for Google. And so that's the left turn lane right there, and you're turning into entrance E. I got one more sign that's going to help you identify, I hope. Where did my cursor go? There it is. Where you're going, look for this big sign at the inside of that thing that says entrance E. It's going to catch up to you, I promise. You're looking for entrance E and that sidewalk closed, which is really hilarious to me because there's no sidewalk. How can you have a sidewalk that's closed and there's no sidewalk? That's what you're looking for, is entrance E. And where you're going to be going, oh, I already have that marked up. We're going to use that. So you're going in here, you're turning to the left, you're going in and you're going around the roundabout. It's really easy. So when you get in there, this is another view of the college. You're going to be parking and unloading right here outside the flagpoles where all the service corps will be helping you. Most of our classes are either in this area. We got a couple classes here. Kara, one of yours is these two, Shea Kirtland, as I call it, is there. We got a whole bunch through this area and some here and some here. So the service corps will be helping you get all your stuff to where you need to go. You're pointing. Computer lab is upstairs at Adams, and for those of you who are teaching the computer lab, it is, I believe, the 2600, so it's up here upstairs. And there are stairs, and there's a stairs there, and a couple places you can get up to it. That's probably the most hard for me, the hardest rooms to find were the computer labs. So hopefully that makes sense. Here's a color vision. This is the map that we hand out to all of our participants and staff. And these will be color coded with all the banners and things we're putting up for the colors of the buildings. It should be, I hope, very easy to find where you're going. Pull up, find a service corps member, let them know what room you're teaching in and what needs to go there, and they will get that stuff there for you. If you have questions on that, please let us know. I don't see any questions yet. That's fantastic. So I'm going to go ahead and move on to my next topic, which is budgets. I'm going to wait for it to catch up to you fantastic people. There it is. Okay. I think if it's not an image, it goes faster, which makes sense. Same as last year, instructors are allotted exactly $20 maximum for pre-approved class materials for any non-fee classes. We do have a handful of classes that we ask extra fees for. Dutch oven cooking comes to mind, Cub Crafts, Edible Crafts, Fantastic Tie Slides, and there are a few others. The lion's share of our classes are not fee-based. So if you're teaching any of those classes and you need things, please let me know, Jennifer Mooney, and we will make sure that you get pre-approval for your thing. The last thing that I purchased, by the way, was 3 years ago, an HDMI to DVI to HDMI to VGA adapter, and that was when we were in Newburgh, when all I had coming out of my laptop was an HDMI port and all they had was VGA. You shouldn't need that, but if for some reason you think you really do, please let us know and we will approve that. If you are doing a fee class, Dutch oven cooking, Cub crafts, edible crafts, stuff like that, tie slides, your budget is $20, that flat budget plus $4 for each registered participant. We will update each and every one of you earlier in the week with an update of what you can expect for participants and what your budget is. We'll pull that data, I'm saying Monday. Is that okay, Jennifer? Monday is my goal. It's only like 6 or 7 emails I have to send as opposed to 80 I had to send in the past 3 or 4 days. That's nothing, guys. Please bring your receipt with you no later than the actual event itself. You can submit your receipt sooner. The person accepting all of these receipts and handling the purse strings is the one and only Jennifer Mooney. She will have the cash box or whatever it's needed. Give her your receipt, let her know who you are, what it's for, and she will reimburse you for whatever it is that you need. And this goes for everybody, Dutch oven cooking, all the way down to if you need some stuff to hand out, that's just fine. Please consider going electronic as much as possible. And I'll talk about this more in just a second. If you can create flyers in PDF format, put them on the Google Drive, that is extraordinarily cost effective. And I tell you this as somebody who grew up in a timber family. I have no problem using paper, but it's just a lot easier these days going digital. And these folks can go home and print as many copies of all of your handouts as they need and want and can share them with everyone. If we don't have to pay for those copies, it makes it easier for everybody. Speaking of materials for the CD, each and every one of you should have been invited to collaborate with our Google account. You have pointers to the locations where we're collecting all that data. Please do your best to upload your slides, your flyers, your handouts, all those things that you're going to need to the Google Drive space as soon as possible. Margot's deadline has traditionally been the first Friday of the month of August, which is October 4th. She has usually been very, very gracious in giving us a little extra leeway over through the weekend and even into that next Monday before she actually locks it down. I'm guessing she'll probably offer that. I'm just gonna sit here and say I hope that that's the case. For those of you who just got your assignments just recently, yesterday evening, my apologies, do your best. But the good news is, one, if you can't upload things to the Google Drive, you can just send them to me or you can just send them to Margot. A point of administrative note, a lot of you got emails with Margot's old email address at Frontier. I sincerely apologize for that. Cut and paste will be the end of me. Her new email address is on the screen there. You can email it to me or Margot at that Gmail address, and we will put it where it needs to go, whatever you've got. Slides, handouts, videos, the whole bit, it's fine. If you don't get your materials in, it probably won't make the CD, but that's okay because we're shifting to using Google Drive as a way to get information out more and more. You probably saw a shortened URL last year along with a QR code pointing people to our Google Drive location. We got good feedback on that, so we're still going to continue to do that and lean on that more. However, we have a lot of folks that really like going home with a physical thing in their hands, still want a CD, so we're supporting that. Basically, it's going to come down to if you want a CD, we'll have it for you, and they're very cost effective. Yes, we have looked into flash drives. At this point, they're still cost prohibitive. If you have a flash drive that's 10 cents each, let me know, please. If you do really seriously need materials to be printed, really need them for whatever reason, you want to have them do a word search in class, okay, we can do that for you. We can have copies made. Having counsel make those copies is the most cost-effective way to do that, as opposed to you running to Kinko's and then submitting a receipt. Please send what you want copied, PDF, Word document, whatever, to me or to Jackie Dannemiller with your request, and we will make that happen, and we'll feed that to you. You being Jennifer Mooney over here, by the way. We will have your copies stacked up and ready to go for you on Saturday morning at the check-in area. This has worked in the past, and we're going to continue to offer this service for you. Again, please consider going digital if at all possible. PDFs are free. If you have questions about that, please let me know. I'm happy to answer them. Okay, one of the big things that we've had, I'm transitioning to a change we're going to make. We've had some challenges in the past years with the number of humans sitting through a class not being the same humans that registered for that class. And it's really kind of puzzling. So we're trying to close this gap and figure out who's going to the classes and did they attend the classes that they signed up for or not. And the best way that we can find to do this is to have our instructors pass out attendance sheets as they get started. So our goal here is to have an attendance sheet for each of you for each of your classes, and possibly more than one sheet if you have a large class. So these will be in your packets at check-in. This is news to Jennifer, by the way. I got to tell Carrie. I'm going to print them up, and you guys can sort them, I think, is the idea. And then so you can pass them out at the very beginning. If you're a Cub Scout Roundtable Commissioner, you've probably been doing this the whole time like me. Send them around, collect them, then you know who's there. It's going to be really simple. It's going to be name, what's your unit type, your unit number, and maybe an email address if you want to get feedback or something like that. We just want to really get who's there and how many. And what that will do is Cheryl Shake and I won't have to run around the campus all day counting heads in every classroom. It was a little much. So, and then at the end of the day, we will collect all of those attendance sheets from you and we will have all that data. It's just going to be really simple. Hopefully it won't take your time as an instructor to do that. And again, the goal here is just to get an accurate count of how many humans are in each class and if they attended the classes that they registered for. That's all we're asking. If you have questions on that, please do not hesitate to let me know. I hope it's clear. My other goal is to have, I think we're going to need like 23 or 24 clipboards. That would be really cool if we could do that. And then a clipboard and a pen in each and every class. And all you got to do is just put your attendance sheet in, send it around, and collect it at the end. Hopefully that works well for everybody. So as an example of that, Mr. Ben Venable is teaching 3 classes. He will get 3 attendance sheets at least, and he can have one for his Tiger Adventures class, one for his Wolf Adventures class, and one for his Bear Adventures class. And then at the end of the day, we'll just collect all those from him. And I think that's all I have to say about that. I've been at it for 27 minutes. I'm going to turn it over to you guys. Do you have any questions or concerns? What are you confused about? Cool. I'm also going to offer, if for some reason you can't work the question tool, there's my phone number. Text me. I can just watch my texts go by. Hopefully there aren't a whole lot of questions. And so far, it looks like you guys have been quiet. So I hope that this has been informative and fantastic. Adam, does this all make sense to you?
Oh, yeah, this is great.
We have Adam Cox in the building. And Steve, all good?
Seems straightforward.
Okay, they're saying that I'm doing a fine job here, which is really nice. Feedback
I like
is a gift.
That's great.
Adam likes computers. This is fantastic. So with that, if there are, have Adam teach great. I don't know if that's going to work. We have a Cub Scout class that might need an instructor. You might be a good fit for that. I think Adam's teaching during that session. I will not have Adam escape, and I will ask him about that afterwards. Thank you, Jackie, for the suggestion. Don't go anywhere. Okay, so unless you do have questions, I'm going to say thank you for coming. I'm going to stop sharing my screen. If you didn't get my phone number, I'm sorry. It's okay. Hopefully that's all the information that you need. I don't want to take up more time than absolutely necessary, and a text did just come in. Oh, thanks, Janelle. I appreciate the feedback. Janelle's one of my favorite humans. Carol says there's no question tool on her screen. Okay, well, you know me, Carol. You can ask questions. Okay, I got a question for somebody I don't know. Are we sharing rooms with other classes? For the most part, yes. There are some people that are teaching a lot during the day. For instance, Kara Kirtland has a class to herself because she's teaching 5 sessions. But a lot of you will be sharing classrooms with other instructors. I tried to put spouses in such a way that they could have lunch together. You're welcome. In such a way that they have their schedules match. But yes, there are 6 sessions. If you're teaching 1 session, you're going to be sharing likely with 4 or 5 other instructors. And again, it shouldn't be a problem because you can just walk into the room and set up. And Janelle's laughing at me. Hopefully that makes sense. Is that clear? Okay, cool. Thank you for the question. Whoever has the 541 number coming from down south or out in the world. Any other questions? I am here and ready to answer them. You guys are quiet. Oh, here we go. Can we find out our classes? Okay, this is Susan find out our classes. So I sent out classroom numbers to everybody. Susan, if you didn't get your classroom number, please let me know. Are you looking for class size or something like that? I can also provide that as we get closer, like an anticipated size of classes. We can do that. It's not too terribly hard. Whatever you'd like, we can probably provide, but we are really getting to the point where we have to have classrooms be shared because we have 23 rooms and 127 classes. So that's just how that's going to work. Room number and what sessions? Yes. Okay. Oh, you want to know who you're sharing classrooms with? Okay. We'll make sure they don't have cooties. I can try to do that. Notepad. Yeah, I guess I could actually share the grid that I have at some point with you guys so you know who you're sharing classrooms with. Yeah, that might make sense. Okay, I will try to share who is sharing classrooms with Instructor. That's going to be another 80 emails, but you know, that's no big deal. Any other questions out there in the world? Set up and take down, yes. So for most of you that have a lot of setup to do, I tried to put you in session 1. Susan, I'll have to go back and look, but yes, I can make sure you get that information of who is coming after you. You're in session 1 and 2, if I recall correctly. Any other questions? I am still here. You're very welcome, Susan. I'm here answering questions. And you can always contact me via email or text, whatever works for you. And with that, I think we're going to go ahead and end the broadcast so that it doesn't go on forever. And I don't see my option to end the broadcast. Oh, there it is. This session is being recorded. Maybe I'll have Todd help me with this. Oh, there's a hand up. This is a really interesting tool, guys. Okay. Hand. Oh, just the click of the X. Okay. Well, again, thank you guys for being here. I'm gonna share this one more time. Thank you guys for being here, for being a part of this. I really appreciate it. Looking forward to seeing all of you on Saturday, November 2nd. It's going to be a great event. And if you need anything, please do let me know. With that, I'm signing off. Have a great evening. Go forth and do the scouting things. So good night, everybody. End webinar.